Kathleen and I were in here watching a movie. I'd gone to Blockbusters and rented a video, and we were watching American Sweethearts. And I think it was probably around 11 o'clock that the movie ended, and we took our glasses, left the dinner plates, as a matter of fact, on there. We were cleaning up the next day. Went into the kitchen. We would talk for hours. Kathleen and I at nighttime would talk 2-3 hours, talk about the movie or the kids or what we were going to do. And we came in here. I think there was, I'm not sure, we probably had another bottle. I know we were drinking 2 bottles that night. It was a nice night. I guess it was 55, 60 degrees. Very nice night. And I'd gone outside.
All right, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, I love it. I love this. So we start with, okay, let's start with this. Just leaving the dinner plates. So we left the dinner plates there. Does that look like a house where anybody leaves the dinner plates overnight? Okay, just go back and look. Does it look like a house where people go, just leave them until the morning. We've had a couple of bottles. Let's just leave them until the morning. Listen to the sound. Okay, you can hear that sound echoing around hard surfaces, which means there's very little upholstery in this place. Okay, as he starts moving through, you get that lack of upholstery. You got a lack of upholstery. It means there's a lack of things to pick up dust. I think you got people here, living here, who don't like a mess. You can see it as you go into that house. No upholstery, everything spotlessly clean, flowers arranged, fresh, new flowers. Yes, I know people are filming, but ultimately you can see with that place, the types of surfaces they are need cleaning all of the time. So from moment one, alarm bells go off for me because I go, that's not true. That's not true, but you need it to be true for some reason. For some reason, you've got to make out this whole progression of story whereby these were left because they wouldn't normally be left. And somebody's come in, I think, and gone, hang on, why are those not washed up? What happened here? Then there's some problem around the bottles of wine. I think we had 2 bottles of wine. Then there's some, mess up around there.
I think there was, I'm not sure, we probably had another bottle. I know we were drinking 2 bottles that night.
Here's what I reckon. I reckon there was 2 bottles of wine or more drunk. I reckon one of those people may well have drunk, more than half of that. Okay, so, but certainly they drank more than 2 bottles, I would think. So I think there's some protection here around stuff being different from how it normally is, and potentially some extra alcohol than usual being drunk at this time as well. That's all I've got around that one. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to come at this from a writer's perspective because I know you guys are going to clobber the heck out of the behavior stuff. I want you to notice the shift from past to past perfect. And what past perfect means is it's the difference between I pulled my car into the driveway and I had pulled my car into the driveway. So when you're reading most fiction books, they're written in past tense. John did this. John went through the door. But then when that past tense has to go into past tense again, it has to go into what's called past perfect. John thought back to the day he had been at the whatever, Burger King. That's past perfect. So what we have here is a past perfect statement. I had gone to Blockbusters. So we know he's one of the people who puts an S at the end of store names like Kroger's. We know he's one of those. Probably not relevant. Then back to past, we watched. Then it's back to a suggestive statement. We would talk for hours. Sit and talk. He didn't say they sat and talked. He did not ever say that they sat there and talked. He said we would do these things. So that's like if I said, Scott, what'd you do on Wednesday night after you left the office? And Scott said, well, I usually go straight home. That's not an answer. So this is what's called a suggestive statement. It did not answer anything, didn't explain what happened that night at all. It's talking about we would do these things. Then it goes back to past.
We probably had
when it says
bottle
we
of-
had
I
some
know we
wine,
drank 2
explained a
bottles
few
that
things
night.
in past tense, and then back to past perfect. Right as he's walking out that back door, listen close. He says, I had gone outside. And those are very interesting to note. Just when did it switch to perfect and when did it switch to regular past? And when things are not in full past or full past perfect, there's a big problem. But please keep in mind that one of our limitations watching this is we are unaware of how the questions were specifically posed to him and whether or not they were surgically crafted to yank some certain response out of him for the camera. So we, as far as I know, none of us know that. So we'll keep going around the circle. Greg?
Well, what's funny, Chase, is we're going down the same path, very similar path. What I'm doing is looking for a baseline. This guy is a storyteller. What we're doing is getting his cadence here. Because he does tell stories and because he's written 5 books about war and Vietnam and Korea and those things, he talks a lot in past perfect. He talks a lot in past. I'm going to run down a list. We were watching. I had gone. We were watching until the movie ended. There's, it's a permanent thing. We took glasses. We left dinner plates. We would talk. We came. We had. We were drinking. I think it's the way he talks, and we're going to see it throughout here. I think the way he talks is things that happen all the time would happen. Like the dogs would be here. Those kinds of things this is how things happen. Actions that he actually took, we were drinking. I think he uses then a noun instead of actually using the verb. And so I think we're seeing a pattern of a guy who is prepared, and he's talking not to the camera, but he's talking to the person carrying that camera as if he's telling a story. And this is a great opportunity for us to see something that is him kind of rattling along. Now, the interesting piece is listen to how much detail he gives. We talk about people who are small chunkers and big chunkers, time, event, or sequence people. If you ask me what I did yesterday, I went to the grocery store. That's an event. That's the way my brain works. Some people wake up and they'll tell you at 0500 I did this, 0530 I did that, 0700 I did this. Other people will give you a sequence. I got up, brushed my teeth, and some of them will go ad nauseum to the point you want to choke yourself to death listening to them talk. This guy's setting himself up as that guy. So that's going to matter because now he's giving you the story as if he's writing about it in a column or as if he's writing a novel. That's all I'm doing here is baselining. Now he's set himself up, and those things that he said, those are telling me the way his brain works. And Chase, I'm with you. Words matter. In this case, the body language, not so much, because he's broadcasting what he wants you to hear. And he's not at all nervous about the camera because it isn't catching him in a kind of impromptu thing. Earlier, he was caught impromptu, and it was a third party. The camera was a third party. In this case, this guy's been a reporter. He's done a little bit of everything. He's been a columnist. He's done a little bit of everything. The camera is a person to him, and he's telling a story. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, you guys pretty much got everything I was going to cover to the point there. But I'll just really quickly go through. I agree with you, Mark. The details he's given a whole lot of details there up front, especially in that room. You move along, the details get less and less. There may have been, I think we drank 2 bottles, that style of thing. But he's really relaxed where he is. Greg, you're right, because no extra face here. He's just talking to the one guy, or the one woman, whoever it is that's there. So he's more relaxed. He's on his own turf, and it's a great spot to get a baseline, especially verbally from him, the way he constructs his sentences. His vernacular really hasn't changed much at all because he structures he structures stories for a living, and that's what he's doing here. He's structuring something so it's really easy to understand. He's not taking a whole lot of time to think about it, which is very important as he goes through. He does stop a couple times and pause, but he doesn't pause as often as for as long as we're going to see in a little while as we move forward here. But that's you guys pretty much nailed all that. So that's all I got.
Kathleen and I were in here watching a movie. I'd gone to Blockbusters and rented a video, and we were watching American Sweethearts. And I think it was probably around 11 o'clock that the movie ended, and we took our glasses, left the dinner plates, as a matter of fact, on there. We were going to clean up the next day. Went into the kitchen. We would talk for hours. Kathleen and I at nighttime would talk 2-3 hours, talk about the movie or the kids or what we were going to do. And we came in here. I think there was, I'm not sure, we probably had another bottle. I know we were drinking 2 bottles that night. It was a nice night. I guess it was 55, 60 degrees. Very nice night. And I'd gone outside.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.